At the Pension Correspondents Association of Nigeria annual conference in Abuja, PENCOM outlined its strategy to capture nearly 80 million Nigerians through its revamped personal pension plan. Business correspondent Kikilomo Okere takes it from here.
For years, Nigerians' pension coverage has remained heavily skewed towards the formal sector, leaving a vast majority of workers, artisans, traders, farmers, and freelancers without any structure for retirement. Speaking at the annual conference of the Pension Correspondents Association of Nigeria in Abuja, the Director General of PENCOM, Omolola Oloworanran, who was represented by the Head of Corporate Communication at PENCOM, Ibrahim Buwai, reaffirmed the Commission's commitment to ensuring that every Nigerian, regardless of employment status, can look forward to secure retirement. She noted that Nigerian workforce is largely informal, yet this group remains severely undercovered.
Today, we reaffirm our commitment to ensuring that every Nigerian, whether formally employed or not, has the opportunity for a secure and dignified old age.
PENCOM says the new pension plan came from the need to redesign the old micro-pension scheme and make it more flexible, digital and inclusive, ensuring that people with irregular incomes can register easily and contribute at their own pace, noting that the new framework offers simplified registration, mobile-based contribution channels, and flexible saving options. PENCOM believes these innovations will encourage millions who previously saw pension as complicated or inaccessible to come on board.
What the personal pension plan has done is that it now brings even the voluntary contributions segment that the formal sector employees hitherto made under the formal CPS. Those contributions will now be captured under the personal pension plan. And the idea really is to offer more flexibility.
Earlier, the President, Pension Correspondents Association of Nigeria, Nana Musa, says there is need for public awareness, trust building, and technology-driven systems to deepen participation nationwide. Musa commended ongoing reform but insists that only sustained engagement, education, and policy support will convince millions of informal workers to embrace pension savings.
Dedicated to deepening public understanding of pension matters, we believe in closing this gap is central to achieving sustainable social security, reducing poverty, and promoting inclusive growth.
With the new plans, pension hopes to grow long-term savings, strengthen financial inclusion, and secure the future of millions of Nigerians who currently have no retirement support structure. Kikilomo Okere, Global Television News.
The presidential nominee for co-chairmanship position on the board of Unclaimed Funds Trust Fund, Obehi Adeswa Okafo, has assured the Senate of productive investment of the fund if her appointment is confirmed. The nominee gave the assurance during her screening by the Senate Committees on Finance, Banking, Insurance, and other financial institutions. Here's the report.
The resolution followed the motion raised by Hart Godwin, who said many oil and gas firms are yet to comply with the Host Communities Development Trust Fund provision, a key feature of the Petroleum Industry Act, designed to ensure that all producing communities benefit directly from exploration activities. Under Section 240 of the Act, each oil company is required to contribute 3% of its annual operating expenditure into the fund, while Section 236 mandates that such trusts be incorporated within 12 months of the Act's commencement. But Godwin told the House that several operators have either ignored these provisions or failed to remit the funds, leaving host communities in neglect and hardship.
Mandate the Committee on Host Communities to investigate the failure of regulatory agencies to act decisively.
The House has now directed its Committee on Host Communities to investigate both the oil companies and the regulatory agencies responsible for enforcing compliance and report back within 4 weeks. In a related development, lawmakers also resolved to probe the financial dealings of NNPC LNG Limited. The House Committee on Gas Resources is to examine the operations and remittances of NNPC LNG Limited, a Cayman Island registered subsidiary of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, amid allegations of unreported financial transactions and possible revenue losses to the federal government. Lawmakers expressed concern over deductions from liquefied natural gas proceeds allegedly made without due authorization or disclosure.
Without a formal notification, disclosure, or approval of the federal government, thereby raising serious concerns of financial improprieties.
Both committees are expected to submit their findings within 4 weeks, part of what lawmakers describe as renewed efforts to enforce transparency and accountability in Nigeria's oil and gas sector. From the National Assembly, Aniete Patrick reporting for Global TV News.
To the foreign scene, where Ukraine's ambassador to South Africa, Alexander Sherba, has urged South Africans not to get involved in Russia's invasion, saying in an interview that 17 men were tricked into joining mercenary forces. The South African government last week had said it received what it described as distress calls from the men who were trapped in the epicenter of the fighting in Ukraine's Donbas region, begging to bring them home. Over to Uyi Agbomofegbe for details.
South African presidency said the men aged 20 to 39 were lured into joining mercenary forces on the pretext of lucrative employment contracts, without saying which side they were fighting for. However, local media outlet News 24 and Kiev both said they were on the Russian side. There is a legal dimension to the situation. It is illegal for South Africans to join foreign armies unless authorized by the government.
They have been recruited in violation of South African law, which I would imagine would be something that South African government would like to talk about with the Russian government. And by the way, if it's true that some of South African politicians were involved, then it makes the whole situation even more precarious.
The war, running for well over 3 years, has dealt a devastating blow to Russia and Ukraine, even though some analysts estimate that Kiev is on the receiving end.
Both sides are bleeding. Both sides are losing people. So Ukraine's position in this at this point of this war, with the front line not moving one way or another, just let's stop where we fight.
President Cyril Ramaphosa has ordered an investigation into the recruitment of South African men as mercenaries after News 24 claimed that the men were sent to Russia by the MK party of former President Jacob Zuma for security training. Uyi Agbomofegbe reporting for Global TV News.
In sports, the Confederation of African Football and the AFCON Morocco 2025 Local Organizing Committee has announced that fans traveling to the tournament will be eligible for free electronic visas. The governing body said the announcement comes amid growing global demand for Africa's biggest football event, with more fans booking tickets. The policy benefits citizens of countries that normally require a visa to enter Morocco. And the National Assembly says it will ensure that key Nigeria University Games Association NUGA projects, including the proposed sports stadium for the 2025 Games in Jos, are captured in the federal budget. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, gave the assurance during a visit by NUGA delegation to the National Assembly in Abuja. Aniete Patrick reports.
Receiving the NUGA leadership on behalf of the Speaker, Chairman of the House Committee on Sports, Kabir Amodu, said the legislature is fully committed to strengthening sports development across Nigerian universities. He assured that the Speaker has already taken note of the ongoing and proposed NUGA projects, especially the Stadium Development Plan for the University of Jos, and will work to ensure they are provided for in the national budget. Amadu added that the House Committee on Sports is targeting a system where by 2026, every Nigerian university will have a functional sports complex or mini stadium capable of hosting international competitions.
I want to assure you that from the Speaker's office up to the Committee of Sports, you have our sport 100%. 100%. For this 2026 budget, I assure you that from the office of the Speaker and also from the committee, we'll definitely going to accommodate some of your projects in this 2026 budget.
Leader of the NUGA delegation, Goshen Obed, said their visits aimed to deepen collaboration ahead of the 27th edition of the Games at the University of Jos. Obed said NUGA is seeking the National Assembly support to complete outstanding projects valued at 13 billion naira to enable the university host international standard competitions.
University of Jos, they are setting a pace in sporting activities in the country. They are building state-of-the-art facilities that can host any international tournament. And they intend to leave a legacy projects after the NUGA Games. I'll leave the games. Some of the games are ongoing in the facility, some are not completed, so they're using other facilities within the state. It may interest you to know that the main ball is being upgraded. There's a new hockey pitch, cricket pitch, and 10-lane Olympic-style swimming pool, which is being built.
Meanwhile, 91 universities are currently participating with several key facilities, including hockey, cricket, and indoor sports halls already completed, while others remain under construction. Anieti Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
And just before we go, here's a recap of our top stories. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, Akure Zone, has accused the federal government of misrepresenting the status of negotiations with the union, adding that newly established universities are mere crisis centers. And the National Pension Commission is renewing efforts to expand pension coverage across Nigeria with a new plan designed to bring millions of informal workers into the retirement savings scheme. And on the foreign scene, we told you that Ukraine's ambassador to South Africa, Alexander Sheba, has urged South Africans not to get involved in Russia's invasion, saying in an interview that 17 men were tricked into joining mercenary forces. And in sports, the National Assembly says it will ensure that key Nigeria University Games Association NUGA projects, including the sports stadium for the 2025 Games in Jos, are captured in the federal budget. And a quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. I am Shehu Said, wishing you a pleasant weekend.